What is up, my beautiful YouTube people? Hey, One Feather, what's up? I'm glad you are here, and I hope you are well. We got 0 people watching us.
We have one.
We had one.
Is she gone?
No, now we got 3 all of a sudden.
Okay. My chat doesn't work. Oh, maybe it does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I turned you up because you're usually not. Maybe I should turn myself up. Can y'all hear me pretty good?
I can hear you really well.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh.
You've got a loud, booming voice.
Hello. We are going to look at Luke Daley's interview. Hey, Texas woman. Hi, y'all. 1967. That means you're
2 years older than me.
So you're 57? 8?
8.
58? I think
Yeah.
she's 60.
Huh?
I don't know.
Can you do math? I don't think you can do math.
Not very.
I was right. We're 2 years apart.
Okay.
Gen X, baby.
You're
Gen
right.
X.
We're going to see how much a liar Luke is. Know me, twisted tales. What it up? Here we go.
We can't see it.
Thanks, son. I always do that kind of crap.
Someone needs to watch out for you.
Many people have believed that you are the person on the surveillance video, the abductor, the masked person. Is that you?
It's not me. I don't see the resemblance of it looking like me, but absolutely.
I mean, I could tell. I'm pretty much of an expert at body language. He's lying. I can tell off the rip, off the first few seconds. Let me slow this down because.
Yeah, it was kind of fast.
I'm going to do it normal speed.
Hey, it's me, Shauna. Hey,
Shauna! What's up? Hey, Sandra. Watch this guy's eyes, the way he gulps and stuff like that.
Not. I have nothing to do with this case.
He shakes his head constantly like this. No, 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 not me, not me, not me.
Nothing to do with it. Do you have any idea who is involved in the abduction?
I don't. If I did, I would happily tell FBI, police, anything.
Yeah, look at his eyes. His eyes are shifty.
Yeah, they are. And when he says and he makes that facial expression, that's an indicator as well.
I mean, I, like everyone else, just want Nancy to come home and be safe. But
the way he looks to his left, I mean, I see so many tells. His ears match up with the perp exactly. Look at those tiny ears and that big ass head.
But that being said,
big giant breath right there. Did you see it?
I have nothing to do with this case, and that's it.
Big old breath. That means he's lying.
Explain to me what happened on the night you were detained, where you were, you're with your car. How did that unfold in your eyes?
So I was driving home. I noticed 2 sheriff vehicles following me. They pulled me over at the Culvers right there. Asked me to get out of the car. Didn't tell me what it was about. So they had me cuffed in the back of a cop car, detained. I was asking, like, what am I being detained for? And they wouldn't tell me anything. They just said that the detectives would be there to talk to me. And
just that right there, that smacking of the lips and then looking down.
Once I saw like FBI and
yeah, tomato shaved. I haven't seen tomato since day one. What?
Is it supposed to be Tommaso or tomato?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's calling him tomato.
Okay.
Mark Albert, what's up? It's supposed to be Tommaso, but everybody calls him tomato. And if he shaved and changed his whole appearance, then that's a sign. Yeah, look at this guy. He's in Tucson. It's 80, 90 degrees probably. He's got a full-on flannel shirt with a wool vest. He's never worn a tie in his life. Probably one of those pin-on ties. I don't know what the hell. I thought this was a tick on his face.
Honey.
He's been running around in the bushes, and a tick's sucking his blood.
Oh my God.
All the other cars start pulling in. I'm like, oh, this is probably about the Guthrie case. I'm like, this should be easy. Like, I have nothing to do with this, so it should be not a big deal to clear my name and move on.
Oh, you see that? Look, you see that little?
Yep, that nervous wink twitch thing.
Watch his eye above that little tick.
Not a big deal to clear my name and move on.
I got it.
But the whole time during the questioning, didn't really seem like more of like a fishing expedition for them to try to get me to say something, because all the dates I was telling them where I was, things like that. I'm like, all you'd have to do is look at my phone and see my location. It was nowhere near anywhere.
You don't have to be. It's the burner phone, dumbass. Of course, you're not going to take your own phone. You're stupid. You live freaking 10 minutes from her house. Donna, what's up?
Or have any connection to this. But still, it was tough, like being there. Like, I mean, I don't trust the FBI to the extent that I'm like thinking that there's pressure on this case and they want to find the person. So like the whole time while I'm sitting in the back of the cop car, I'm like panicking,
I'm going to get railroaded into this because I didn't do anything.
thinking that I'm going to be framed for this, or they're trying to pin this on me somehow.
Did they tell you what led them to you? I mean, something made them believe they needed to talk to you about it. What was that?
I asked them. They didn't tell me any information about that. And I have thought of any type of reason why they could have come after me. But there's nothing. And I think that's why they didn't tell me.
Were you in the area of the
Wait, was that? I missed that look.
Area of the home at the time, like the overnight, or would it have been something like we've tracked this person near the
Well, I
abduction scene?
live near her house, but
I saw his eye go up in a nervous twitch right there.
I mean, I didn't even know that until after the fact. Like, I barely just learned where her actual house was in relation to mine.
Sure you did.
So I didn't even know.
Had you ever met her?
No.
Did you know who she was?
I knew who she was because my mother was following the case.
This eye right here is a tell. Every time he lies, that eye kind of twitches.
Well, you know what though? We've never heard him, like this is the first time everyone is seeing him. And he does seem, I'm just playing devil's advocate here because I don't even know what to believe, but he seems really nervous right now.
Yeah.
And I think anybody would be really nervous
I
in
wouldn't
his
be nervous
situation.
at all if I was innocent. I'd just be like, hell no, I didn't know where. I don't even know who the hell Nancy Guthrie is. Of course I know where she lives. People have been out in front of her house since day one. I only live 2 miles away. Of course I know where she lives. That's what I would say.
Right, but say he truly is innocent. The cops and the FBI don't think he is, and that can be a really scary place to be if you are innocent, because how are you supposed to prove your innocence, especially when she's still missing?
You don't have to prove they have to prove your guilt. You don't have to prove your innocence. They have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's you.
Right, but
I don't have to prove shit.
I mean, this is going to turn his life upside down. And if he's innocent, I mean, that totally sucks for him. So that could also be why he seems so nervous.
Well, he was just arrested last May with Kayla Day selling rugs and with an AR pistol loaded with extra magazines with Fent and rugs and all kinds of shit. Now, watching this interview, he says, I don't even know that woman. I got the article pulled up right here.
But in terms of other than that, I would just go off what my mother was telling me.
And so how long were you detained for?
4 or 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
Probably maybe 4 or 5 hours.
In the back of that car the whole time? And they searched your Range Rover extensively?
Yeah, they searched Range Rover. They towed my Range Rover.
But why did they have the tarp? Hey, Helena. Good to see you, sweetie.
And
Laura.
Joyce. I want to say hi to Joyce, hi to Laura, hi to Donna.
George Bushaw.
That's the one.
Yep. These are all my besties. True crime besties. Who says that? Ashley Banfield or somebody? Or is it Jennifer Caffendaffer? Why does he have to do that so often?
He's nervous.
He's trying to think of stuff to say because he just can't let it roll like I can. Because I'm not a liar. Now, if I was lying and I was trying to explain it to somebody, I'd be like,
She's asking him really basic questions.
Wait, let me think. Where was it? I don't know.
Did all DNA testing or whatever, and then gave it back to me.
You look like you're just about to pass out.
Took my cell phone. I've had no way to get a hold of anyone, which is probably a good thing because everyone's looking at me like I'm this person that I'm not.
Why did you shave right before you came in here? Huh? I could see your mustache and your little flavor saver that you shaved.
So it's been rough.
You got your car back
Yes.
in rough condition, or was it okay?
Well, when I went to pick it up, like it wouldn't start. I guess they drained the battery down, and it was just covered in the whatever white substance that they use for testing.
No, that was you. That was your white substance.
No, that was the
But yeah, then I got
powder.
it started up, and it wasn't.
Huh?
Fingerprint powder.
Yeah, I thought it was his go fast powder.
Luckily, it wasn't damaged in terms of like repairs or anything. But
So when they released you, what did they say? They say you're free? Did they say never mind? I mean, what was the verbiage there from them?
they had just told me that they were still at my house, so I couldn't go home. But they drove me somewhere near the house and just dropped me off.
Can't go home. Can't stay here.
I was like, well, I don't have a phone. How am I supposed to figure out when I can go back to the house? They basically said, you're just going to have to figure that out. So, I mean, I waited just where they dropped me off at for maybe an hour or so. I had a friend that lived near the area, and I walked over there. They weren't home. So I was just waiting, like basically just on their patio. And then it got to the point where I'm like, well, they should be done by now. I walked back to my house, and this was like the worst part for me, is getting there and seeing the house torn up. But the worst part was my mom not being there, and her being.
The worst part was my mom not being there. Your mother was with Matt, the son that actually works and has a wife and kids in Phoenix. Not the loser son that has never had a job and has been living at home since he was 0 years old. Come on, man.
Elderly and having AFib and things like that. I'm thinking
AFib? What the hell is AFib?
atrial fibrillation. That's when your heart doesn't pump properly, and you usually take blood thinners and other medications for it. And you usually don't really feel well. If it's well controlled, you're fine. But
The lady seems fine as the mother's review I have up here too.
Worst, like I see her car's here, but she's not there, and I don't have my phone to get a hold of her. So I'm wondering what happened, if I need to start calling hospitals or.
Oh my God, my mommy. What would happen? My mommy.
hey, Ricky Beavers is here.
Ricky Beavers.
And Angel Lauder. Hi.
Or what the deal was. But luckily, I guess she went to one of the neighbors, but I didn't find it out until the next day.
Hey, Ricky, you want to come up and chop it up?
Right. You were detained and released, but you've said it. Your face, your name, it's everywhere online. People still believe you were either involved or did this. What's that been like for you to have your name, your picture, even a past mugshot all over the internet associated with this case?
I mean, for me, it's terrible. It's hard to go anywhere, and the hard part is they're making all these assumptions based on things that have absolutely no relevance, and they're just bringing up my past, which I do have a past, but nothing violent or anything like that. All my past has just been involved with using drugs, and I haven't been in that life for over 2 years now.
Really? You haven't been in that life in over 2 years now, he says. Let's see if he's lying or not.
Yeah, it's me, Shauna. I know. It kind of bothers me that they do that. I mean, they dig up every tiny little thing and, oh, look, he did this, he did this, he did this. So he probably kidnapped someone. And it's like, no, you can't look at that. I mean, sometimes it's relevant, but.
He was arrested in May of 2025 with Kayla Day, with rugs and an AR-type pistol. May 2025.
So that was like
10
months ago.
Yes. You just said he's been clean for 2 years. Liar!
So all the things that they're bringing up, I guess it's public record, but it would have came out if it wasn't for all these people speculating and doing things like that. So now people that had no idea about my past, so I've done like a good job of working past it and not having anything to do with it. So them doing that now is kind of just reopening this whole speculation and make me out to look like this bad person, which I'm not.
And it's not just been you. People have found, records of an alleged girlfriend of yours. There's been a lot of rumors swirling around. What do you want to say about those rumors, about you, about her, about, everybody that people have looked at and said, well, they could do this?
Yeah, first of all, that's not my girlfriend. I barely knew that girl, and I was arrested with her on a completely different circumstance over a year ago. I haven't.
Less than a year ago.
Is he talking about Kayla?
Yes. I'll show you who exactly he's talking about.
Hi, Sandra.
Hold on.
Well, we can look at that when this is over.
All right.
Talked to her since, and I guess they're just going off of the arrest, saying that I was arrested with her. So, but I hardly know her and don't associate.
Why were you with her, and why were you selling rugs with her, and why were you with her in the car with the weapon and the drugs? Well, you just picked her up off the street, and you just accidentally. The cop just accidentally caught you, and it was all her shit, and you didn't have anything to do with it, huh?
Associate with her, But in terms of everything else, I mean, all the speculation is just going off of, I don't even know if people really believe it, but online it just seems like they're pushing this narrative and trying to make connections with things that are, I don't know, basically like circumstantial, like saying my eyelashes match the guy in the ski mask picture, which I'm sure
They do, and so do your ears.
like if you could use anyone's picture and find similarities.
And you don't recognize the person on that in that footage?
No, I don't.
It's me.
But in terms of all this, like
I saw that, Ricky. Sad. He was bawling her eyes out, and old Tommaso looked like he was kind of grabbing her butt there for a minute.
like I said, they're comparing my face to this. They're talking about my Range Rover, which I didn't even buy until after she was reported missing.
What about the blue? What about the blue car with the woman screaming out that's wrecked, that you got towed away from State Farm?
It was a new car, yeah? For you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're talking about another car that was towed off my property. That car wasn't an accident, has nothing to do with this. It wasn't towed in relation to this case.
You're lucky you got it out of there fast enough. They should have taken that car and looked through it as well. I'm going to say the sun is... Nobody's cleared in this case. Until you find out who did it and they're convicted, how can you clear anyone? Unless they were on the other side of the world. That still doesn't mean they're not complicit in some kind of a conspiracy. You can never clear anybody. Old Vano Pima clearing people, he doesn't even know if they did it or not.
It was being told by the insurance company to assume if it was totaled or not. So that had nothing to do with the case. There's no evidence to point towards me other than speculation.
You really have no idea what led them to you in this case?
Absolutely not.
Still a mystery to you?
Yes, and I would love to find out.
Were you dealing mostly with sheriff's deputies or FBI agents when you were detained?
When I was detained by the sheriffs, but in terms of all the questioning was done by the FBI.
What would you like to say to both PCSD and the FBI?
Basically what I told them before, if there's anything, I'm happy to help. If there actually was something real that I could help them with, but like I said, they had my phone, they went to my phone. So, I mean, if it was anything real, they could look through that and hope clear my name. But in terms of the collateral damages, this being part of it, there's not really any type of way, there's no going back from this.
For your whole family too. I mean, your mom has had to go through this too. As a family, how has this made you guys feel collectively together to kind of be in this public shock?
Thanks, Shauna. We got you. What gets me, they were there 41 minutes straight. They took their time, so it had to be somebody that they knew. Exactly, Ricky. That person wasn't afraid. He was totally comfortable in that atmosphere. He knew exactly where every camera was because he was probably there when they installed them. Just like he was there when he installed the new cameras.
Hi, Sandra.
It was public scrutiny.
It all just seems like a nightmare. I mean, it doesn't seem real, and it's just been, we're all just it's just been a nightmare. I know my mom, she has like problem with stress, and like she was doing good before this. After this, she's been a lot more stressed. It's been hard. I'll let her speak to how it's affected her, but I mean, in terms of collectively as a family, it's been a nightmare.
How is it can be a nightmare? How can it be a nightmare to somebody who has no job, no bills?
How did he afford that Range Rover?
Mommy. Apparently, he ain't got no job.
Yamama 714.
Hey, girl, what you doing?
You know, what's your message for Nancy Guthrie's family?
I mean, I like everyone else. I want I want to see her come home. I want the actual suspect to be found.
It's that big swallow and
Yeah, I saw that.
Mab knows liars. He just knows.
I think it's really unfair to them to give them
That eyeball where it crunches up like that.
false hope by going off whatever they went off to have this huge investigation and raid happen. To me, it's like giving them false hope that something that they had a suspect and then it was nothing. And I'm not the first person either, so I think it's wrong in that sense.
This is your first interview since you've been detained. What's your hope in putting your voice out there now that people will get from this interview?
I mean, for my personal interest, I would just say just not to go off speculation of everything you hear on the internet and kind of like the hive mind mentality that someone says something and then they just go off of it based on no evidence, no truth. But I mean, in terms of like moving forward, I just want to be cleared, have actual verification that I was cleared by the FBI and sheriff, whoever else.
Have they officially cleared you?
I don't date. This is just going off what I've heard, but I guess I've been cleared, but them still, they don't close any case, I guess, because it's still ongoing. But I mean, I know personally there's nothing else that they're gonna come across that points towards me. So
unequivocally, you are not the person, you are not involved.
Absolutely, 100%.
Is there anything else you want to clear up that people may have said, that you've seen, that you feel that you have the opportunity now to address?
Nothing particular is coming to mind right now. Obviously, I mean, I'm nervous. This is, like I said, my first interview, and I mean, I'm not trying to get any more attention from this. I just want to put it out there for me that I had nothing to do with this, and I'm hoping that the truth will come out, whatever that may be. I have no idea.
I appreciate your time. Chris, do you have anything that you want Luke to address or add? Luke, is there anything else that I didn't ask you that you want to address or talk about while you're here? Just want to make sure that you get your opportunity to say anything you want to.
I just want to say again that I hope that she's safe. I hope they find her, and I just want to move on with my life and not have any. I mean, it's been hard. Like, I can't go anywhere. Everyone gives me dirty looks, and they see me in my car. Like, I would assume that like, I don't know, people are just think I'm like this person, and it's been hard, like leaving, going anywhere, doing anything. So I'd like to be able to go about my life and not have this shadow of doubt casted over me.
Many people have believed that you are the person on the surveillance video, the abductor, the masked person.
It went all the way to the beginning.
Oh, I think it was over, right?
Where everyone gives me dirty looks and they see me in my car. Like, I would assume that like, I don't know, people are just think I'm like this person, and it's been hard, like leaving, going anywhere, doing anything.
Well, you lied already. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that woman. I've been clean for 2 years, even though I was arrested 10 months ago for drugs and guns. I've been clean for 2 years. It's not me. I don't know, man. I will say that I thought Zach was the Range Rover guy, but I am stand corrected. It's Luke. So Zach, if you're out there, I apologize. This is his mother, who seems completely fine.
Can't see it.
All right. Damn it. Imagine if I was by myself doing this.
Close by.
I didn't realize that.
You didn't know that?
No.
So did you not know?
I knew it after everything happened. But otherwise, who'd heard of her?
You hadn't met her?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So you hear that she is abducted. She goes missing. And I assume your first thought when you hear this is, oh my gosh, somebody, I mean, this is crazy and it's nearby. Were you following the story, following the case?
Totally. At that point, to see if they could ever come.
Me too, Davina 79. I'd love to see him walk and where his shoulder is and all that. Lots of love to you, your mama, Yvonne.
find
Yo
her.
mama, Yvonne.
And,
And
you know,
hugs to you too.
in Arizona, and her family, and we watch her on TV, so it's sort of like, she comes into our living room and tells us what's going on. So it's, it's very emotional for me.
She sounds fine. She looks like she's had a lot of sun in her life, but
Mm.
looks like one of those Florida women, huh?
I mean, I'm old, and I'm not used to this kind of stuff at all. But I have a lot of empathy and pray. I don't have a lot of hope that the family continues on, and it's huge loss for all of us, actually.
Oh, it completely affects the community, a community you're part of. So when you first start hearing about it, I imagine there's a lot of upset and fear, concern.
Yes, and they were searching. I live on this street, and then they were searching a street a little closer and a little farther out. Excuse me, and it's just weird to have these people standing in front of my house wanting to talk. Mostly news people wanting to.
Yeah, I mean, the media don't.
I didn't talk to those people at all. We just. Mm-hmm.
So tell me what happened when this all ends up at your home. Your home ends up becoming part of this story.
Yeah, well,
Rick is going to say that Nancy could still be alive, and they're trying to figure out how to get the $1 million and get by with it. They're trying to figure that part out right now.
Yep.
All they got to do is get a lawyer, Ricky, open up a escrow account, have the FBI deposit the money into the escrow account, and have the attorney handle the escrow account, or it could be a neutral attorney. And then when the FBI puts the money in the escrow account, then the people release Nancy. And when Nancy is recovered, the independent attorney releases the funds to the anonymous person. That's how it works. I've done it with other things. In fact, I was an escrow agent before for like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. $375,000.
People were coming to the door, and I wasn't necessarily answering it. They might not have even had a camera or anything. And then this one, late afternoon when they came in the big SWAT vehicles, pulled into my driveway, and said they wanted to, see anything that could link anything. I said, well, yeah, go ahead. I mean, so they were there for about 6 hours, and I was in the SWAT vehicle, and they went through my house and went through everything and tore everything, broke my, if the door was locked, they would break it open to go see what was in there. There really wasn't anything in there, but it was pretty upsetting.
Well, and it's one thing to come to you and say, do you have any video or anything like that? It's another to detain you and search your house with a search warrant. Did they tell you why?
I guess I assumed, because I live close by or something, but I just said I'd do anything if we could find some clues that might help, but I don't.
In the late 80s, my boss couldn't remember my name, so it's been Yo Mama ever since. That's so. Yo Mama. It's Yo Mama.
I don't think there's going to be
Hi,
anything in
Mary
here.
Jane.
We got Ya Mama and Yo Mama, both here.
All right. So this is my time to bow out because I need to get ready for work tomorrow. What?
You're bowing out?
I'm bowing out.
Mrs. Mab's bowing out.
So good night, everybody. Thank you for coming, but I got stuff I got to do before I go to work, before I go to bed. So
I'm booting your ass from the studio.
Love you guys. See you soon. Good night.
Studio. Bam! You're gone. I just booted Mrs. Mab.
But go ahead and look. I mean, I didn't say you can't look. I didn't even think. It was kind of, late in the day. I'm so sorry. I'll turn that off. I get a lot of phone calls now, a lot of messages from people. How are you doing, Mary? So
this woman looks completely chill to me. She probably worked her ass off her whole life. She probably had a husband that passed away. And now she's got this son living at her house. not working, makes him buy her, she buys him a damn Range Rover. That can't be cheap. That can't be cheap. He looks like he eats a lot of food. That ain't cheap. I'd kick his ass out and say, go get your own damn job, boy.
Yeah, and then I just decided I was much better off going to Phoenix to be with Matt and the grandkids and his wife and everything.
Matt and the grandkids and his wife and everything. That's the good son. That's the son that works. That's the son that has children, grandchildren, her grandchildren, and a job and a house and everything. Why isn't Luke like that? Because he's a druggie. That's why.
So when they detained you, did you know
Allegedly.
that this was related?
Everything here is alleged. The chatters, callers, people on panel, everybody. It's all speculation. We don't know what happened. We're just speculating, just like everybody else.
To also them investigating Luke?
No.
You had no idea?
No, I wasn't thinking this was about Luke. You know, I found out it was also about Luke, but initially, no, I was thinking it was all about Nancy Guthrie and finding her and whatnot. So, because I was thinking, I don't even think Luke probably ever watched the news and even saw Savannah on the news. I mean, I did.
Right. So when did you learn that, you know, your detainment was related to Luke's detainment in this case?
When? I'm not exactly sure when, because honestly, during this time, I was really emotional and there were lots of information coming in, and so I don't remember exactly the time, but I know that in retrospect, I know all this stuff that it did, but initially I didn't think of it being Luke as part of this because I knew it wasn't something that Luke would be involved in any way.
Really? What was Luke involved in a year ago? TNG, hello. Lazy couch spud with high hopes of drugs.
And he wasn't. So, yeah.
And when you learned that, was there any thought that could he have been involved?
No, I didn't think he ever could have been involved. Not at all. No.
So you and Luke were not involved in anything in this case?
Right, except seeing it on TV and acting and some of the consequences of, you know, we want to search this. And I'm like, okay, if it helps find, because this was early on, we thought differently about.
Did they take anything specific from your home?
Nope.
Did they take anything? I can't think of anything they took. You know.
They didn't take her phone. She's been through a lot in her life. No! Daley hasn't even sent it in yet. I talked to him last night. He said, you want the cash? I'm like, no, I want the belt. Come on, man. Sorry about that, y'all. Phone's messed up. It's here. It's hearsay, yes. This is all hearsay. He did fly out. He went live from Tucson. I didn't see it. I was too busy walking 5 miles. I've been walking 5 miles a day. Yesterday, I did not do the 5 mile walk because I was so wiped out from the 3 other days I did the 5 mile walk. I woke up at 2:30 in the afternoon yesterday. I was like, I ain't going on no damn walk today. But you haven't gotten your mystery prize or tiara yet. They're way behind because of the new studio and the Tucson stuff, and PJ has a full-time job, and it's a lot, apparently. Two can play this game. No, I haven't got no belt, but they can't have season 7 and make all that quan without me getting my belt. That's what it's trying to say. Here, I'll just give you the cash, and then we can do season 7. Great T-shirt. Can you see it? It's kawaii. I got this shirt over here too. My new company. Mad Media Group, Mad Lab, Mad Investigates. See something, say something. I made that shirt because I was going to go out to meet Daley at the Jake Harrow case, but by the time I got ready to go, they had arrested him already. Let's see. Let's do that.
I can't think of anything.
And did they
I
eventually?
might think of something later. I
That's
hate to say
fine.
it, but
Yeah.
Did
they eventually tell you that they were searching your home in relation to this case, or did you this whole time think they're just looking to see if I have any surveillance video or anything like that? Like, where did that shift happen?
They didn't give me a lot of information, but I just assumed, and I said, well, if it's like I said, if it's something that might help us find her, then go for it. If you think there's anything in here, but I don't think there is. So, yeah.
Did you ever?
She color her hair. She has to color her hair. Hey, Deb. How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Ever suspect that Luke might know who was involved?
No.
Not at all.
No. Mm-mm.
So you guys were basically both detained for hours. You were questioned, your property gone through, and then released, but with not a lot of explanation as to why.
Well, I guess they just said they could do. I didn't want to stop if it might be helpful, but I had no idea when. I thought they'd maybe come in and look around for an hour or something, poke around, and but yeah.
So you have not been back at your home since staying there since this.
I just got back.
What's that like?
It's really good to be back here. I was up in Phoenix with my kids and grandkids, which is wonderful. But
I was in Phoenix with my good son, not the druggie that's been in my house since he was born.
Built our home and lived there a long time, and Matt's grown up in it. Luke's grown up in it. We built our home and lived there a long time, and Matt's grown up in it. Luke's grown up in it. They're, so it's it's home. So I love being there. I'm glad to be back, and it's nice to know that Luke's there and with me.
I mean, in the days since you guys were detained, it's not been an easy road for any of you, Luke especially. I mean, people still believe he is the person on the video camera. They still believe he's the person who abducted Nancy Guthrie. His face is out there. His name, your name, has been out there. How, as a family, have you emotionally dealt with that, even though you've been released?
Well, things will just pop up, and I'll just feel a lot more like even sitting here talking about it. It is very emotional, and part of me just wants to say goodbye to all this chapter. So hopefully this
looks very calm and composed.
Interview will help kind of have some closure for me and for everybody else who's felt the impact, because this has been huge impact, not just here. I mean, all the family from Rhode Island called right away and said, wow, look what's happening. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't really do Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. I'm not the right demographic. I don't spend my time doing that.
But Luke,
kind of like me, I don't do shit. Leave it to Beaver, friend. I don't do Facebook. I have a TikTok. I mean, I have a Instagram now, and I have an X, but I haven't really, done a lot of shit with it.
Luke's on it. I mean, he is younger, and that is part of him. He's had to see his face out there.
That's really a shame, I think. But
I got a new Facebook called Mad Investigates too. I'm gonna get all that shit rolling once I get the channel monetized and all that. We're gonna take off. It's just gonna take time.
I was shocked about all of that. That was an education for me in terms of a way of communicating and things people like to do, like younger people.
I looked at the flight from here to Tucson. It was only $141. I could do that. I mean, that's not that expensive, but if I wanted to be there tomorrow and leave on Friday, it's $249 for a round trip, plus hotel, food, rent a car, and all that shit. So not quite there yet, but it's not far off. Let's just put it that way.
Not older people like me.
Yeah. What do you say to people who have also brought up Luke's past and kind of associated, he's had a past with criminal activity. Therefore, this could be a part of this. What do you say to those people?
Well, I don't know. They don't really ask me that. My friends, I have a really good group of friends here in Tucson. And they never really questioned me about that stuff. And
You like the Mad Lab? I could do more of it. I wanted to put you guys on my chest for the walk that I do. It's like 4.5 miles, and then I walk the dog for half a mile, so that's 5. But it's a beautiful walk, but it's all pretty much all straight uphill until I get to about 1.7 miles, and then it's all downhill from there. So it's like 2 different muscle groups. You're like pumping up the hill because I got these 2 walking sticks that I'm using in my hands and my core and everything, getting up that hill, and then I have to like slow down. I have to slow myself down because it's so steep going down after that. And it's on a dirt road, cows and little calves and stuff. It's really nice. Maybe I'll take you guys tomorrow.
they thought they didn't, come up and say, well, could he have done this? And they didn't, probably out of respect, because they don't know, and I didn't know what all was going on sometimes. But I knew this wasn't. Luke's had other issues, but this is not the kind of thing that he had a problem with, and he's doing well now, and we're all kind of in the recovery mode, if you know.
We're all kind of in the recovery mode. How many times have you been in the recovery mode with him? Is what I want to know. We are all trying to get you monetized. Yes, I need a certain many, 3,000 hours or whatever that, or watch time. So I guess those long walks would probably help, right? And the Mad Lab thing probably helps, chopping wood, processing wood, stuff like that. We'll get there.
You know what I mean? Trying to get our lives back and get back to normal again and all that stuff.
For your family, it's been tough. For the Guthrie family, it's been tough. What is your thought process trying to relate to the Guthries themselves going through this, but in the most awful way, in that they've lost Nancy and there's still no answers?
Really, mostly I pray.
Thanks, your mama.
Yeah.
And they've asked for prayers.
They've asked for prayers. And sometimes I can listen to Savannah's, she comes on and talks often. You guys all know that probably. And I've watched a little bit, but I can't watch too much because it just makes me want to cry. It's just so sad. And the longer it goes on, then the more hope is lost.
I wonder how old this woman is. She looks to be 70s. What do you guys think? 70s? 75? You better come back, your mama.
For you guys in this neighborhood, it's a very tight-knit. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's quiet. It's quaint. To have this kind of onslaught, the media spectacle, and then to become where you are, does that change your perception of how safe home feels?
Well, I feel safe in my home now. I didn't for a while. That's why I went to Phoenix. I have wonderful neighbors. They live right next door, and we're in this little cul-de-sac together. And that's where the SWAT team came up the cul-de-sac and stuff. But I stayed with them some of the time. A couple nights I stayed over at David and Margaret's house because I was uncomfortable.
David and Margaret.
So yeah, I just never thought in my life I would. Who would imagine something like this?
Hello, Pamela Carey. Good to see you.
It was so much sadness, and I want to say global, but certainly our whole country. But it goes farther than that, probably.
Oh, it really does.
The way media is today. I grew up in a different era, as you know. So it's amazing how things spread. So
what do you want to say to the Guthrie family, especially for you and your son, if there was any possibility they still believed you guys could be involved? What do you want to say to the Guthries?
Savannah, I am just very, very sad and sorry about Nancy. And I pray for you and your family that you heal, that you go back to your normal place of life and resume and build with your family and your children and your husband. But I know it's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to keep praying. Mm-hmm.
She seems real. Bye, Mrs. Mab. We love you. I love her too. He is a
And you
shark.
want them to know. No involvement from you and Luke.
No involvement from Luke and I, no.
No, I'm
Luke
not.
is your son?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You or Nancy Guthrie?
All right, we got that. We got that. Hmm. What has Brian got to say?
So much for checking out my show. I really, really appreciate it. Please click.
Do you think I think beginning I thought her son was an exact match for the guy on the porch. I still think he looks like the guy on the porch. Was he paid? I don't know. What was in the back of that Range Rover that they had to put tarps up so that the media could not see what was in there? And the FBI had their cases all ready to process that car. I mean, the last time I remember seeing somebody put a tarp up was in the Gabby Petito case when they were bringing her out of the water. They put a tarp up. And that's the last time I saw a tarp blocking, the view of anything. It's always been when there was someone had passed away. I think she would, Laura. I think she would. Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. A family affair. One child grows up to be somebody just loved to burn. Tarp would be on the ground, yeah.
To subscribe. I'm outside the Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. These are all their SWAT trucks out here. It is day 31 in the search for
Day 31. Damn.
Nancy Guthrie. Some big developments today. First of all, the sheriff has now spoken out again, given an update on the case, says that he does believe they will solve it, but made a comment about how they are looking at hundreds of thousands of cars to determine what vehicle could be involved in the case, which is a huge number that kind of surprised me. I'll get into the latest on what the sheriff has said. Also, there was some action outside Nancy Guthrie's house. We don't know who these people were, but they showed up. They were really focused on the front doorway of the house. They went around the back side of the house at one point. I'll give you the latest on that. Also, some people, just private citizens, searching. There was someone with a metal detector. And then in this episode, and this is really interesting, I spoke with a retired FBI profiler who has a really, really interesting take on who may have done this and what the abductor wanted and wants and continues to want, in his opinion, based on everything that he knows about the case. So I'm going to get into all of that in this episode of Brian Enton Investigates. Hey, guys.
Tamara. Thank you. Can't wait to see it either. You had to get your hubby food. Is he chowing down now? Donna, I can see the mountains on my walk. I can see the mountains of the Central Valley from where I walk. I can also see Gilroy and all the way into San Jose from where I'm walking every day. It's an awesome view. I don't know how high in elevation it is, but it's got to be pretty up there because I can see all the way past San Juan Bautista and Piscenes way back there.
So it is Tuesday, again, day 31. I'm at the sheriff's office. The search continues for Nancy Guthrie. I can't believe it's been 31 days now. It's like, in some ways, it feels like time has flown since I've been purchased secondhand. Remember,
see, Luke's ear is small like this guy. And we know he's shaved, so that almost looks fake. This mustache and patch thing. Gilroy Garlic Festival. Yeehaw! I speak and speak to you in Daley's lives. Yes, I do reply to you all the time. Why are you invisible? I always reply to you, Laura Calvert. I see your chats. You're not seeing mine, maybe. Because I see all of yours. But I probably don't put the 5225. That's probably why. No, I do see you all the time.
When he said that the backpack came from Walmart, I guess now they may have at this point gone through all of the sales records, which we know they were doing behind the scenes, the FBI, and now he's saying it may have been purchased secondhand. So it may not have been purchased directly by the suspect from Walmart. Like maybe someone else purchased it and then gave it to the suspect, or the suspect, actually, if the samples are not.
It's a good shot of the house. This little ADU, I guess they call it. What does ADU stand for? Adult Additional something unit. Why the walking? Because I need to stay in shape. Chad goes super fast in Daley's now. He's got freaking almost 100,000 people in there. Yes. Why walking? Because I need to get strong. I need to lose weight. I need to get down to about 180. And I'm working out. See, I got little muscles going still. What's up, Wilson? Looks like a ton of work. It is a lot of work. Plus, I do, like, I'm chopping wood, I'm walking 5 miles a day, I'm working out on the Bowflex, I'm restoring my old dump truck. I got to go and do a bunch of shit ton of work over my other house. So, yeah, there's a lot of work. And YouTube takes a lot of time to do this. So, hopefully, it all works out.
Good samples. So that's kind of what I think he was meaning by that last statement. We have information on this case that we think is going to lead us to solving this case, but it takes time. But we'll see. So that's the latest from the sheriff. He spoke out here at the sheriff's office. In terms of what's been happening at Nancy Guthrie's house, there were some people who showed up today. I don't think they were law enforcement, but I don't know who they were. They were by the front door of the house. They were by the side of the house. They were clearly, sort of there on a mission, knew what they were doing. Some people were thinking maybe they were locksmiths, which is a possibility, or just maybe people sent there by the family. I don't know. The family, other people were there installing security cameras the other day. There was people there installing an alarm system. I don't know what these folks were up to, but they were at the house today, which was interesting. At the same time, there were some people out in front of the house. I think they may have been, private citizens. I also heard they may have been podcasters that were searching with a metal detector, said that they were searching for jewelry out front. But that was really the latest.
That criminal network? I don't know. Almost looks like, what's his name? Jelly Roll. Yes, I wish this thing
happening at the house. Also, I've just had a conversation, which I'm going to play for you. Retired FBI profiler, and also hosted the podcast Best Case.
It's got one eye that's kind of off.
Worst case. I almost said former FBI profiler, but whenever I say that, people think that they got fired or something. So I'm clear about saying retired. Maureen got mad at me about that once.
Yeah, I did retire, and I'm still a profiler. So I'm continuing to do that work. And I'm also an expert witness in legal cases. So I definitely continue to do behavioral analysis in criminal and related cases.
So Jim, I'm here in Arizona. I've been here for like a month, just trying to dive into this case any way that I can. And I wish I had more information a month in, but it's still very mysterious. There's still a lot we don't know. There's still a lot of questions about motive.
Whenever Daley sends in the design, it'll be about 3 weeks after that. He can't do Turtle Island season 7 until I get that belt. So, and he makes a lot of money when he does Turtle Island. So we'll see. Probably about a month, I'd say. 4 to 6 weeks. I'm giving him benefit of the doubt. I think it would be about 4 to 6 weeks.
Based on everything you know, have you been able to come up with a profile at all for who did this to Nancy?
Yeah, as I said earlier, when we've talked before, the fact that someone would take the risk of going into an occupied dwelling, spending 41 minutes or so there, and then taking the victim with them. That's a huge risk. All three of those things elevate the offender's risk tremendously. See, risk level is in opposition between the victim and the offender. So when the victim is in their lowest risk area, which is in the privacy and security of their own home, to get to them, the offender has to take the highest level of risk.
So you got to think about this. Kick his ass? Probably could. Yes, I've been to Casa de Fruta. I drive by there every time I go to Central Valley. And we have a gun range that we're going to be training at, which is way up in the into the foothills. I can't call them mountains because they're really not mountains, but way out past Piscenes, really hard to get to. But we still got to get up there and get our training in for our firearms. And that'll be coming up pretty soon. There's a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff on my plate.
So we know this person.
Oh, I was going to say, so if you want to get revenge, it seems like, yes, Watsonville no, it's the artichokes are grown in Castroville. Watsonville is strawberries and blueberries and blackberries. Driscoll's main shipping hub is like 5 minutes away from me. I mean, I grow strawberries just right down the street here. But the mountains start right here. We're in the Pajaro Valley. We got the Pajaro River that goes through here. I want to take my kayak from the Pajaro River out to Moss Landing. We want the next season to start. Come on, Daley. Yes. Yeah. So if you're Epstein and you wanted to punish the Guthries, you wanted to punish Nancy Guthrie because she interviewed Virginia Dufresne and 6 other women or whatever she did for the Epstein files, people that Epstein personally trafficked. Prince Andrew, who's been arrested apparently in the UK. A dead person, no belt, no season. That's right. So a dead person can't get, a dead person is not going to want to get revenge because they're dead. But if they're alive, if they didn't die in prison, like I don't think Epstein did, I think they switched him out, just like they did Ghislaine Maxwell. It's obviously not her that's in prison. I mean, that was really obvious to me. If you haven't looked into that, you should, because I don't think either one of them are in jail. So, yes, that's true. She was the first journalist to report on the Epstein file cases, and then she got shut down. My sis and hubby's family owned Byington Winery and Byington Steel in Santa Rosa and San Jose. Well, Santa Rosa is really close to my sister's house in Willits, and San Jose is just about 45 minutes from me. So, guilty of crime lives over there in San Jose. Yeah, Epstein is not dead, in my opinion. Neither is Ghislaine. I think they're both out now. And they might be on the island for all we know. I mean, they're somewhere getting plastic surgery, probably, and they're going to live happily ever after. And he's probably still going to have access to all that money. I mean, good Lord. It's bizarre how this sleight of hand works.
Was very motivated. They'd have to be so motivated in order to overcome that great risk that they took. Now, up until the door cam video was released, it seemed like this person was a fairly sophisticated, criminally and forensically experienced kind of offender. But when we actually saw his behavior, we could see that he wasn't at all ready for that door camera, that he walked out of the vestibule area and grabbed some brush to try to cover it. And in the process, he revealed that I believe he has a tattoo on the underside of his right wrist. Those are all really big mistakes for somebody who took the time to wear at least one mask, maybe two, at least one pair of gloves, maybe two, a full bodysuit over his other clothing. He thought he was actually protecting himself forensically, but what he didn't do is actually cover up his mouth. So he's breathing out DNA for 41 minutes in that house. He also, his eyes and his eyebrows and his eyelashes and some of his mustache hair was all exposed. That could have fallen out and been left at the crime scene. So he made a lot of mistakes that
he had to take that flashlight out of his mouth at some point. Hey, Victoria, good to see you. Good to see you. He had to take that flashlight out of his mouth at some point, which would spew spit somewhere.
Really lower his criminal and forensic sophistication. So what does that tell us? Well, we know he's a male from the images. And generally, the way he moved, he didn't seem like he was in his 50s or 60s, but he was probably in his 30s or 40s. And he definitely, because he wasn't a professional, he definitely exhibited pre- and post-offense behavior that people around him can see. So profiling doesn't just sort of predict who the person is, but we also talk about their behavior and what they'll do. So before this event, he was experiencing some level of stress because he was planning this. Clearly, the way
I think he was 11 days before he was there, and it was dark, pitch black. And then on January 11th is when that picture with the black background was taken. Definitely had a motive, I agree. But that first picture with no backpack and no gun, that was January 11th. Because that's what the FBI said. And they wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. They wanted the video from January 11th up to whenever. So I know that the picture with the dark background with no gun and no backpack was on January 11th, 3 weeks before, whatever, how many days before the actual event happened. Hey, Chatty Jen, good to see you, darling.
he dressed and the fact that he got away with it to date tells me that he did put in some level of planning. Of course, he wore a backpack with bright reflective straps, bands on the strap, which, and he was wearing lighter clothing, which you don't wear to a night operation. I mean, you want to be as unseen as possible, and he was glaringly there. He had a little flashlight in his mouth at some point, but if he had
if any of you guys want to chop it up with me up here, there's a link right there. Just don't be bombing me or any of that crap. You turn your camera on. Okay, I got to see you. And then you can turn it off and just use your picture or whatever.
a searchlight, a very strong flashlight, he could have overwhelmed that camera and it would not have picked up his image. He thought he destroyed the camera and the images it took. In fact, he didn't. So those mistakes, again, lower my assessment of his forensic and criminal sophistication. But because he's not so sophisticated, he was probably going through a lot of stress beforehand, and he may have even spoken to people about it. He may have vented to people about how things are going wrong, or there's a lot of problems, but things are about to happen in my favor. Things are about to get good. I'm about to, all my problems are going to be solved. I'm going to be out of debt, whatever it is. I believe he spoke to people around him about this stuff. And then after the event, and when when Savannah Guthrie announced that she was going to pay the ransom, he may have even slipped again and spoken about, yeah, things are going to get better. But then when his images were released, I think that was 10 days after the event, his stress level went through the roof. And he may have left town. He may have hidden his car in a garage or had worked on it or had it painted. He may be obsessively cleaning it. But these behaviors are out of the norm, and people around him will notice the change in these behaviors. One thing that my friend Jim Fitz and Ray Carr added to that behavior, and I think it really makes sense when they profiled him, was that this guy probably has had a history of being.
That's right, girl. Getting those true crime hours in. Just trying to get them hours in and them walks in, trying to get healthy. It's working out. Except yesterday I didn't wake up till 2:30 in the afternoon.
Being fixated on celebrities or quasi-celebrities in the past, probably female celebrities, and this could be one of.
I got to crash by 9:30 because I got to get up early, get my 5 miles in, then take my dog to the vet, get him some steroids so he can keep up with me on at least a little bit of a walk. His back, he's in pain. His back legs are kind of his hips or something. You got to get your screen facing the camera so you don't look like you're not paying attention. I should be looking like this. I could look this way, but this is so much bigger. I get it. But I got to look over here to stop it and start it.
Of the main motivating factors in this case. But I will say this. If that isn't it, if it isn't sort of somebody who's fixated on her because she's the mother of a celebrity and in her own right has been on TV several times with her daughter, if it's not that, then I believe it's somebody who had some tangential connection to the family or to Nancy Guthrie herself. And in that connection, and it could have been a guy working on the pool, the yard, cutting the grass, repairing the roof.
I'll be back in a second. Hold it down for me, Jay.
Doing some repairs to appliances in the house or the AC or the heat and even possibly deliveries or driving an Uber. There's some connection in which innocently she revealed that one, she lived alone and that she would be home and vulnerable on this particular night. And it's a shame because her trust in any of these people could have led to her being targeted by this particular offender.
If it was a Savannah obsessed person, would they have tried to reach out to Savannah by now or wanted something from Savannah?
Well, they did get something they wanted from Savannah. They got Savannah to talk to them directly. And another thing they got was an emotional reaction by her. And unfortunately, when you have, for example, erotomanic stalkers, they feel that they have this relationship with their victims, and they feel sometimes that, well, if I can't have you, nobody can have you, and they can get violent. And it could be that had some motivation in this case.
So even getting the emotional responses from Savannah that we've seen could have been enough. It's not like they would have wanted more.
Oh, they may have wanted more, but it is a huge amount to be addressed directly by the person that you've been fixated on. Yeah, that's a big thing. Wow.
So I've heard a lot of people think that that's what it is. I've also heard like burglary gone wrong, and then Nancy, hopefully this isn't true, but dies, and you got to get rid of the body or you're going to be.
No, that's not true at all. You don't got to get rid of the body. You got to leave the body there and you got to get away from the body. If that.
Yeah. Burglary gone wrong is not a thing. I don't believe. Yes, it was. They did have a favorite restaurant. The ones that invented a certain Mexican thing. I forget, but it's been going on since early 1900s, I believe. So, yes, they did have the favorite Mexican restaurant.
That's what happened. That person, unless they had a known connection to her or that location,
could be,
or both, that person would have left her there and gone as fast as they possibly can, get as far away as possible. You don't bring the body with you. That is the best evidence in the case. And to keep that with you, to take it somewhere else, to then spend more time hiding it, you're putting their DNA in your vehicle, you're putting their DNA all over you. it increases the risk that this offender took exponentially. The only reason why you would want, there are two reasons why you want to remove the body. One, that's what you came to do. You came to kidnap this person, you're going to find them, and you're going to take them away. Two, people know that you have a connection to her. You want to delay discovery of her because there's evidence of you on her. And so that is why you take the body away. You make that extra effort, you take that extra risk because there is a known connection.
So if it was just a random burglary, you think they would have just left the body? Why, if she died, why would they take the body?
Absolutely, no question. I mean, it would be extremely foolish for them to continue to make risky moves. To what end? I mean, if she died and there's evidence that there was a death in the house, what does taking the body away do for you? She's going to get discovered, or she's going to be discovered missing. Either one, the alarms go off, and they're looking for you.
Yeah, it's weird. This case is weird. It's not a standard kidnapping because they didn't leave a ransom note for the family. Usually they say, don't call the cops, pay us the money. They don't send a freaking message to TMZ and all that garbage. So this is not a typical ransom. I'm leaning more and more leaning more and more towards punishment for the Guthries, period. All the Guthries.
If you got in and out, and instead of spending 41 minutes there, you spent 3 minutes there and took off, you have 38 more minutes to be 38 more miles away, right? Why would you take her with you? You're right there with the evidence against you.
I'm just thinking this through. If it is like a Savannah stalker, because I've always thought there was more than one person involved, but maybe that would mean it is just one person, and maybe that would explain why we haven't had some other accomplice trying to claim this $1 million reward. I mean, maybe could it just be one person involved?
Absolutely. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Savannah stalker. It could be a Nancy stalker, because again, even though her fame is not anywhere near as great as her daughter's, she has been on TV with her daughter, and that's a level of celebrity that this person doesn't have. And unfortunately, some people get fixated on elderly women.
Why they can't kidnap Annie instead of Nancy, right? Oh, thanks, Shauna. You're such a sweetheart.
It's not common, but it does happen.
Could one person have done that by themselves, though? Gotten her away?
Absolutely. I mean, it's easy either way.
But carrying her would be like carrying 2 bags of concrete, and I can barely carry 1 bag of concrete, and I'm no weakling. I could probably carry 2 bags of concrete, but I'd have to put one on my shoulder and balance. I could carry a dead body, but I'd have to drag her by her legs. You know what I'm saying? No, can't be a burglary gone wrong. This is something to inflict pain on the Guthries, in my opinion.
If she's alive, you threaten her with that gun. If she's not alive, I mean, that guy didn't look small. She's pretty small. It'd be fairly easy for him to take her out.
They got 2 sizes of concrete, 60s and 80s. So 360s, you're talking about 180 pounds. 250s is 100 pounds. I mean, 80s. 380s would be 240 pounds. I poured a whole pallet of 60s to make my crane by myself. So you got to be strong to do it, but I could probably carry Nancy Guthrie over my shoulder and get her in a car. Wouldn't be that big of a deal because she's only probably 120 pounds at most. Once you get them on your shoulder, you can carry her. You open the door, you push her in. She's probably going to be knocked out or passed out or dead, one of the 3.
Do you think she was alive?
You're in healthcare. There's no way one person carried her out, especially if she was resisting. Yes, the resisting part, yes. The older people just like to fall. They use their bottom like an anchor. I could carry an older person out. Not if they're 150 pounds, no. I ain't carrying no 300-pound blue-haired psycho out of anywhere. But I carried 2 chicks out of the kingdom easy. Yeah. Kingdom. 83-year-old Nancy, as described, 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 inches, weighing 150 pounds? She was a little bit chunky, huh? Still, I could carry 150 pounds. My legs, I can bench press probably 400 or 500 pounds with my legs. And so it's all legs, really. But it wouldn't be easy.
When she left the house? I mean, just based on what you know?
I don't have any reason to believe she was dead. I mean, the fact that blood is dripping.
I doubt she weighed 150 pounds. She probably weighed more like 120.
As she's leaving, probably is a good sign that she's alive or was alive at that time. If she was dead, he could wrap her up in something that wouldn't be dripping.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That would make sense. Why would you? Right. You
could also just lay her on a tarp, wrap her up in a tarp, roll her up in a tarp, and just drag the tarp. But you'd have to fake the blood drops, and that would be pretty easy to do. There's no way this is random. I feel like something's going to break very soon. I hope it does, because there's other cases to be covered.
You would have had her wrapped up when you took her out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you the ransom notes in the beginning that have kind of just fizzled away? Do you think those are real?
Well, I mean, the only reason why I believed they were real is because it's been reported by the police that there was a very specific item, I think a watch, that was described, and the location of that watch was described accurately, and that was the proof that they gave that they were legit. If that's the case, I don't know how that happens other than somebody inside telling them that, because that was not something that was released to the public. So I think that has a level of legitimacy. The fact that they sort of fizzled away.
So if they told where the Apple Watch was and that was real, and they gave the wallet address, why didn't they pay the money to get her back?
I don't know what advice was given to the Guthrie family. I don't know whether they paid anything or whether they didn't pay anything, but there is certainly a policy in the FBI and in law enforcement in general not to pay ransoms.
Do you think they should have offered the reward sooner? I mean, because reportedly Savannah wanted to and was told, let's hold off on the $1 million reward initially. Would that have...
I'd have done it right away.
Made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, Linda, he looks like the guy still. I'm not changing my mind. He could have been paid by somebody associated with the Epstein files or whatever. Could have been paid by somebody affiliated with the old ex-president who was banging the intern.
I don't know. I mean, the $1 million reward, if you put that out immediately, I'm sure the reason why they told her to hold off is because they didn't want 50,000 false tips of people just trying to get that $1 million. It's a lot of money. It's very unusual to have a reward that high, and it brings people out of the woodwork.
You want to bring people out of the woodwork. You want to bring people out that recognize the guy.
Are you surprised we're at day 30?
I am. It certainly doesn't bode well for Nancy. And I don't know what the forensic examination that was done initially at the house was, but I'm pretty certain that this guy's DNA is all over that house.
Well, they botched a lot of this. They botched it. Luke's eyebrow points more towards the bridge of his nose than his left brow does, even with the mask on. Interesting. I'll have to look at that.
And what I'm waiting for is for them to have developed a DNA profile, done a forensic genetic genealogy search, and gotten to this guy's family, and they're hopefully following him to get a cigarette, a Coke can, a pizza crust that he discards, so they can get his DNA and confirm who it is. That's the best hope in this case.
And that can take time, right?
Yeah.
So even though it's 30, because some people,
I mean, they got Kohlberger. It was 30 some days in Kohlberger, and they had him 2 days. Within 2 days, they had that car, and it took them all the way to 30 days to arrest him in Pennsylvania, I believe it was.
I've heard some law enforcement experts say
6 foot. He's not Savannah. When they were walking out there, Savannah, Annie, and Tommaso, he did not look 6 foot to me. He looked more like about 5'10". Bad Tomato was 6 foot. He is not Savannah. He's 11 foot tall. She is taller than Tomato. She's no 6 foot tall, and they took the flowers out. Savannah was the tallest. Did she have heels on? I think she had heels, and he didn't. But still, Tommaso didn't look that damn tall.
that they think it's becoming a cold case. Is it too soon to say that?
I mean, a cold case is when all leads have been run to ground and there's no new leads. I don't think that's the case yet.
It's not going to be cold for at least another 3 months, 4 months, 5 months.
I mean, it's 30 days, not 30 years. Cases are being solved after 30 and 40 years. So this case will be solved. I have no question in my mind about it because of that video and because of the fact that he wasn't forensically sophisticated enough to prevent any of his DNA from leaving his body and being at that scene. I just hope they collected it.
I hope they collected it, and I hope they didn't contaminate the scene too bad and they released it too early. You know what I'm saying?
The way you described him is, and let's just say it was someone who did it alone, because if it was a stalker type, maybe it was someone alone. Do they start to tell people about it at some point? Or do people like that keep it to themselves forever?
No, I think this guy is not a professional. And so I believe at some point was probably prior. His pre-offense behavior was probably him. He probably leaked out information about this. In other words, mentioned Savannah, mentioned Nancy, mentioned that, he was going to go to Tucson, something. He was not as sophisticated as he thought he was. And those kind of offenders slip up. And I'm sure he did either before the offense or after the offense. If he doesn't get caught in a while, then you might see exactly what you just said, him kind of bragging about it in a way, like maybe generically, yeah, I could have gotten away with that too, something like that. But I'm telling you, somebody who's listening to this right now, somebody knows him. They live.
Now, I could have got away with it because I'm smart and I know how to do stuff, but I wouldn't tell you how I would do it because then you'd know how to get away with it.
Live or work with him or live near him or have interacted with him, and he has just changed his behavior in the last 5-6 weeks, and especially when those images were released, and whether he left town for an emergency or made sure that he would not be out in public for a while.
If they have more video and more pictures of that perp, they damn well better release them soon, because if they have more video in the backyard or whatever, if they have video of her being carried out the front or what have you, they damn well better release that now. You know what I'm saying? Because they're never going to catch this guy if they don't cough up the information and the video and the imaging so that we, as the public, can identify this guy.
He did something to change his behavior, and anybody who knows him, who's around him, should pick up on that.
So we don't know officially that nothing was taken from the house, but that's kind of the sense that there wasn't like some high value item missing. So I guess operating under that being true,
They had the gem collector right next door, and there was a big giant gem show that weekend. So if he was a robber, why didn't he rob the gem guy and take all of his shit? It was probably worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. A gem collector. I mean, my wife's little Alexandrite, little tiny 0.7 carat little thing is worth 20 grand. This guy might have had $1 million worth of freaking gems in his house. He lives right next door. So no, it was not a robbery. Couldn't have been. Otherwise, they'd have robbed the guy next door.
So not really being a burglary. And then
Well, it could be a framed picture of her in Savannah. You know, it could be some little, you know, something from a magnet on the refrigerator. It could be, you know, some little souvenir or trophy that he took. It doesn't have to be something of great value.
is there any other motive that has come to your mind besides,
Space rock.
you know, Savannah obsessed person?
You mean meteorites? Yes. Meteorites are mostly iron, but some of them have, you know, precious metals in them.
Well, I mean, money, revenge, personal cause.
Meteorites are worth a lot of money, and you find them normally in snowfields like Alaska, glaciers, that kind of thing.
Or sexual. Those are the motives that could be.
Do any of those others? I mean, they don't seem to add up as much to me. I mean, I hate to even think about the sexual, but you know, it's just that the way the neighborhood is, it's just this random house in the middle of this neighborhood where everybody's space. Like, why her if that was the case, you know?
Generally because that person worked at the house or delivered something to the house or delivered her to the house and knew that she lived alone. That's generally what happens, what precedes that kind of an attack. However, unless that was absolutely known, there's no reason for him to take her from that location.
Well, maybe the guy from Rio Rico told him about Nancy because he did deliver stuff to that house, I believe. Possibly. Carlos.
Do you think at this point, just based on what you know, they have several people in mind, or do you think they don't?
They don't.
Because I'll just tell you, I mean, we had reporting a couple weeks ago about them going to the gun stores with 40 names and faces, and initially I thought they did, but now I'm wondering if they don't.
No.
It's just whether or not I think it's a good idea to answer that question. That's all.
Yeah, I understand. Did anything stand out to you as strange with the ransom letters?
Absolutely. In general, when someone kidnaps someone and their motivation is to get money, one of the first lines is don't tell the police and no media.
Correct. And this ain't that.
DC snipers, for example, they had both of those, right? This case.
Remember the DC snipers that were shooting out of the trunk of the car? And there was like a teenage kid. I think there were a couple of black dudes. And the son was like shooting out of the little hole in the trunk of the car. You remember that case?
Instead of hiding what they were doing, they announced it to the world by sending it to the media. That's extremely unusual, but it may be telling us exactly what they wanted, which was notoriety, which was making everybody in that neighborhood shiver with fear, or making Savannah emotionally, you know, begging for her mother's life. You know, that could be the motivation. Behavior tells you many times not just what somebody wants to do, but sort of it satisfies some kind of inner need for them. And I think sending it to the media and sending it not to the media where Savannah works, but to a local CBS affiliate and to TMZ, it made sure that the news got out there.
Yeah. They wanted to hurt the Guthries. And that could be Savannah or her husband or both. Now, her husband was a fixer for the Clintons. Maybe he fucked something up. Savannah interviewed Virginia Giuffre. And Epstein didn't like it. And he ain't dead. So he could be revenge. He's still out there, and so is Ghislaine, wherever the hell you say her name. I do live in the general area where the shootings were happening with a 3-month-old terrified to get gas. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie.
Local CBS affiliate tells me that that person may very well be from that area because they wanted that media outlet to be aware and to publicize it. So publicity is usually the last thing a kidnapper wants. And it's the first thing these people wanted, or this person wanted.
I really appreciate Jim for taking the time.
Okay. Let's get these guys going. I love Chris McDonough. He's awesome.
Have what's known as a little thumbnail photo, one of those little photos, and it just says something happened, and then it's like log in and see what happened. But it just has that small photo. But that image should still be on someone's phone. That should still be on. That should be discoverable. But what do I know?
And so then the next big point here is 2:28 a.m. And this is where Nancy's, the victim's pacemaker application disconnects from her Apple Watch.
Yeah.
He doesn't say it was her pacemaker. The app disconnected from the watch.
It went out of range. Yeah.
It's out of range.
There was a rationale, whether we agree with it or not, and we won't, for taking Mrs. Guthrie. So just think about that, abductors, if you're out there, because I know the abductor is following media right now. And I know Karen and Chris, you have a popular podcast. It's very likely either live or down the line they're checking this out. Because they're nervous right now.
Yeah.
He or they are nervous. They're concerned, and they've maybe been lucky so far. They may have been interviewed already. We don't know that by law enforcement, and it's very.
I like Maureen, and I like this guy Dan. Jim, I like Karen and Chris. I was on Chris's first panel on Thanksgiving 2025.
Very possible that they have been, but so far the evidence the probable cause hasn't presented itself to take it the next step. It looks like Dan's agrees, and I'm gonna let everybody go with that statement.
Wait, Tim, can you include on your plea? We want to know what the Freudian gunslinger situation is all about. That's what we really want to know. We all want answers.
I'm not going to challenge the masculinity of the abductor. He knows very well what his phallic, fantasy.
Hit road, mama. Hello. How you doing, darling?
These are.
That's a joke.
And I will leave it at that. So, guys, thanks for having me on.
Thanks,
Let's do this again.
Thank you for
Thanks,
your
Jim.
time.
You're the best.
And for being with
I
us.
appreciate that. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Jim.
Aloha.
Can tell you that pretty much for sure.
Oh, yes.
I got rid of that right then. If you know anyone that shaved off that facial hair, yeah. So see that spot
Luke Daley just shaved off his facial hair.
right there. Can you put your So it's the space with the two lines from your nose down to your upper lip that join generally at what's known as the Cupid's bow. If you're doing face reading, which is very interesting, by the way. It almost looks like this person could have a bit of a hair lip. Does that make sense to you? I wish I could.
Yeah.
I wish I had a pointer. I don't. But if you see
a tiny bit, yes.
Yes, a tiny one, an almost indiscernible one. So if you look at my face, you can see that I have two distinct lines. That one's here and one's here, and they both meet at what's known as the Cupid's bow. Those two tips right here. This is a line. This is a line that together it's the philtrum. Philtrum. I believe. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. And
you're right.
Guess who shaved for an interview? Luke Daley.
His is a little bit off. If you look at the way his hair is growing right there on his upper lip, it's not a straight line. It looks like he has some kind of a scar or something right about here that's causing hair not to grow there.
Interesting.
Correct. I agree totally with you, Maureen.
One of the things that struck me about him is his gait, how
Yes.
he hunched over and how he favored, it almost looked like the left shoulder had some kind of an past injury because it kind of slopes down a little bit. And I get it. He's leaning here. He's walking.
leaning.
We don't have an actual, him standing upright, but I think it's unique enough where somebody could recognize that.
I think he's looking in the glass panel on the other side of the door. That door had.
And anyway, the suspects came south, and at the time I was in our special enforcement. I was a vice detective. So LAPD sent down 2 helicopters, a shoot team, DAs, everything, because they had their was it SIS team, whatever their team was.
Mrs. Mab is getting ready for bed right now.
That was like deep cover. They had like 4 guys on a Greyhound bus.
Oh yeah.
Behind the suspect.
She had to come on before she took her makeup off.
Okay, on the bus, and then they had a surveillance team. Anyway, they got to our town.
Chris is
and we ended up getting 2 LAPD guys with their radios in our undercovers cars, and we parked their ride, and we ended up surveilling this guy and took him all the way down to Interstate 8. when he was headed towards Phoenix. Long story short, great story, by the way. The helicopter dropped out of the air, lit the entire freeway up, created an accident. They boxed him in, pushed him up against the wall, and the shooter was on the floorboard and with the officer's gun still on him. And there was a news helicopter above. So they ended up taking him in custody.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what
I
I
get the
mean?
connection between those other place, like the handle to the refrigerator. People think, why the refrigerator? You'd be surprised how many people will, like after a murder, eat a sandwich. It's
Absolutely.
It's
That is
crazy.
so crazy to think.
Or have a beer.
Absolutely.
I
Yep.
mean, if you have a can of half drunk beer, it could have been the offenders.
Or a smoke.
Yep.
And I had one smoke the cigarette butt into the toilet water. It was the last piece of evidence. This was a cold case. We asked the forensic scientist, can you work this up? We'll give it a try. Major hit, gives a confession. So you never know when they do anything in that house.
Ritualistic almost,
You never know. Yeah.
More of a statement. Look through your channel, found your songs. I got some music out there. A little backstory, 30 seconds. My dad went to the New England Conservatory of Music as an Irish tenor, and I picked up his voice, so that's where that came from.
Gotcha.
Just before he went in the Marine Corps, 1944.
My dad was a Marine too.
Boom.
God bless.
Sorry.
We got lots of them in the family.
Susan says, do any of you think the perp has something weird with his hands or hiding? Why did he hold them over the camera like that with that flat palm? Most would flat palm over the camera.
Yeah, most of us would go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Originally when I first saw the video, it looked to me like it was a boxing glove. Is what it looked like to me at first. And then finally it was like, no, it's not. I believe it's multiple gloves, one underneath the other, like a lot of the forensic collectors and forensic investigators will wear multiple gloves. And then as they're touching, they'll remove one. As they're touching, they're removing another. You know this, Maureen.
Yeah.
But
And we'll have like a gauze. Next time I'm on, I'll show you my gauze gloves that I wear under latex gloves, but they're not thick like that, and they don't look thick like that. So I'll do a little demo to show you. But this looks like those scuba diving material.
Into this whole case behind the scenes, to not just the daughter, but to the husband, who's not even forward facing in terms of the public appearance on this thing.
Yeah.
But he's like in the background somewhere. Well, why not send it to Savannah's husband? Why not send it to the brother's wife, the other brother who's the fighter pilot in Vermont? Why not get them involved in this fraud as well?
Things that make you go home. Yeah.
Right. And so the feds immediately gleep on this guy and get him through IP. He used a burner phone. He used a bogus number, voice over IP burner phone number, and they grab him, okay, and they indict him in Los Angeles. And so he was pitted in LA. They have since moved him to Tucson in the federal court system. Okay. So I've been really, really suspicious of, one, that guy went away really fast. Okay. And you and I both know sometimes it's like, first one to the door gets the best opportunity, right? And so I thought, well, wait a minute, why are they running this guy over to Tucson for his arraignment? Why don't they just keep him in LA? Now they can do that. We both know that.
Mm-hmm.
But why was it necessary to get him over to Tucson? And then the other weird part the other day, and Maureen, I want to hear your opinion on this one, is who's out at the house? It's not Pima County or the state district attorney. It's the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Right.
Why are they out there?
Whenever you're in a task force situation like this, you're going to have decisions that are going to be made throughout the entire thing. Like, hey, are you going to take this part, or are we going to take it? Because you can divvy up a case in a number of different ways, believe it or not. And you may say, hey, to the U.S. attorney, can you guys do all the conspiracy stuff and maybe keep it separate enough where if one prosecution isn't successful, you can rely on the federal prosecution.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. We did that in Leticia Hernandez. Okay. I mean, I understand that, but also there's got to be another reason that they're standing there. If this is a homicide, it's going to be a state case,
right?
Unless the sheriff lets it go. So and so I was just curious about that guy. Again, he goes into my column, as on the board, like Jim would talk about, rip the sheet, throw it up, put it on the board, and just write, this doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. Not really sure about this guy. Let's dive into this guy. And lo and behold, he has a very extensive, record. Okay. And one of the questions I asked Maureen while you
sounds like Lou
were gone is, why didn't he get hold of the fighter pilot's wife, engage her into the conversation? Why didn't he get hold of Savannah's husband, engage him into the conversation? Why is it he only gets hold of the...
All right, Shauna, love you. Hope you're good. Hoorah! Your son's a Marine. Yeah, she will. I'm about to go to bed with her in about 15 minutes.
Annie and Tommaso. What, that it just.
I know
it didn't feel right.
I know it's strange, but I'm trying to look at both sides of the coin, which is what I'm sure we all do.
Oh,
in
we
that
have to, yes.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's very weird that he did this. But then you start thinking about it. Like if you go on any of these sites and you're trying to look somebody up, some people are a lot easier to look up than others. And maybe a school teacher
minutes,
has
and I
his,
got
has his
40
cell phone number listed. Like Tomas.
Got to leave in 15 minutes, but I got 46 minutes of video to see. Matt, have you seen the latest ransom stated about specific watch and where in the house? Yes, I heard that was one of the first ransom notes, I believe. And that one should have been taken seriously.
Also, and Annie is a
I like Maureen a lot. And this Van Stover guy looks cool. And I like Karen and Chris.
a poet, and so maybe she is easy to get in touch with also.
Yeah, but why are you downloading Tommaso's phone? Help me understand that one in the investigation.
Well, he spent the evening with her on her last night. The last time anybody saw her, he drove her home. He had the data point on there about the garage door opening and closing. He had to have had that app on there for them to be able to somehow put that on the timeline. If you're putting that on, if I'm putting that on my timeline, that's something that I've locked down solidly. And you have your basic timeline where you're writing down everything you've got and how do we narrow this down and which do we have completely locked down? Let's start writing that timeline, because the timeline stuff is very often part of your affidavit, whatever affidavits you're trying to do for a search warrant or whatever. So yeah, they would look at it for that. They also want to know who he's talking to because he is the last person to see her. He did spend the night with her. We don't know if there was some kind of an altercation or something along those lines. You want to see who he was talking to or texting with or anything. And you want to rule him out. If we're going to rule you out, this is what has to happen. Do you understand? Yes, let's do it.
That makes sense.
I agree.
It does make sense.
They have his data.
Yeah.
They downloaded it over at the house, and they
Would celebrate. Yeah.
Yep, they took it. But here's the crazy part is they went back.
And back. And back.
And back.
And they keep going back. And that's kind of just crazy in of itself.
It is.
Just saying.
But they never went to anybody else's house.
No,
As far-
other
as far
than
as
the
fans-
search warrants. Other than the search warrants where they hit, and I think that was a geofence hit.
Mhm.
They got into the geofence, and the CAS team says, "Oops, we got this, we got that, we got this. Bingo, here we go." And they started connecting those dots.
Yep, I agree with that.
Before we do any more questions, I know Maureen, you're on a time hit, and she's
Yeah.
going to have to leave. But thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome.
We're always grateful to have you. And Dan, can you stay with us a little longer?
Sure.
You need
sure.
to jump too.
Get over
Okay.
to their
Okay.
channels and subscribe to everybody.
Yes. Best case, worst
Thank
case,
you.
Maureen's podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Aloha.
Thanks, Maureen.
Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Maureen.
Maureen, thank
Thanks,
you.
Everyone, appreciate you.
Appreciate
Podcast.
you too.
Good.
Have
What are we
fun.
doing here now? There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Dan, are you taking some more questions?
Sure.
It's fun. Okay.
Maureen.
We did that in Leticia Hernandez. Okay.
Proceed.
I mean, I understand that, but also there's got to be another reason. Me too.
Because in order to get a search, I mean, as I know you guys know, but I'm sure most of our viewers know, but if you don't, I'll explain it. Search warrant, you have to establish in the affidavit, you have to be able to establish probable cause. And with that, you have to take it before a judge, or if it's federal, the magistrate, whatever the case may be, and they have to sign off on that you've established a probable cause. Way different than a consent to search. When I hear search warrant, that speaks volumes to me.
I am the exact same train of thought. And I thought, well, wait a minute. There's more here. There's more here in River City than right now they're laying out there.
Absolutely.
Which kind of confused the public, in my opinion, because by him coming out and saying, he should have just left it alone. But the sheriff came out and he said, no, everything and everybody is cleared. Nothing to see here. Move along. Okay.
That could be a strategy too, Chris.
Heather, you're upside down. Watching part of the eclipse this morning. Is there an eclipse tonight? It's a red moon, blood moon, whatever it is.
Fight him ultimately if it does turn backwards.
Well, earlier
experience. I mean,
yeah. Earlier, I kind of touched on it that, I worry about certain things that could lead to problems of prosecution, but I don't think that that's that big of a deal. And it may be a good strategy on the sheriff's part.
Okay.
It's frustrating as a journalist. I want to know.
Yeah. Oh, no, I hear you, but
yeah.
In that business, it's, the investigative business, all due respect to them, but we're going to do what we got to do to solve this case. And he may be using the media in that fashion to kind of throw different kinds of smoke signals out there and kind of lead different directions, if you get what I mean.
It wouldn't be the first time that would have been done in a very high profile case.
Correct.
She started at the LA Times. I brought her over from the dark side.
I just want to take credit.
Here's the
I'm
next
teasing.
one.
All right. What about the old well on Nancy's property to the left of her house? Was it searched? It's the wood structure. What about the bloody glove and rock? The bloody glove that I believe was found.
I hope it was solved.
Was it a mile or 2 miles away from Nancy's house?
Drum.
So there's blood on that glove?
That's what
Well,
people are saying.
that's-
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah, I
think-
never heard that confirmed.
Yeah.
I heard it was collected, but the well, I sure hope, oh my God, I hope that they were thorough on that stuff.
Yeah, they threw cameras down there at least. Hopefully.
Okay, let's take some more questions.
Okay. Porch guy, posture and hands remind me of a drummer. Interesting.
First thought was a winter pair of gloves when I saw them.
Interesting.
Okay. Do you think the people that took Nancy were paid to do the job for someone else, not for ransom?
That's a theory you always have to keep on the table.
Absolutely.
Lil P says there was a guy that came to the scene and spoke to a podcaster, and his vibe was off. He had a ring. He proceeded to go in. What's that say? TikTok and talk. Oh, we went on TikTok and talk.
Wow.
I know we aren't supposed to say it. It starts with a J. Yeah, please don't say it on our channel.
Yeah, no, I mean, but we're talking about JLR. I think this guy went up there. Don't say his name, but I think he went up to JLR and talked to him. And I'll tell you, that guy works harder than anybody out there in YouTube. You know,
He's doing a good job.
the guy's he's out there grinding. You know, so but JLR, don't get in the middle of the investigation. Just we'll just tell you that as a friend. Stay back and let them do their thing.
Absolutely.
Somebody, okay. Do you think it was odd that Savannah's brother was not with the family at the house?
No.
I'll take that one.
Go.
I mean, I don't, because maybe he had to go back home and go back to work.
Vermont.
I mean, it's got to have been so heartbreaking, grueling, extraordinarily stressful, no answers. I mean, so I don't think it was unusual that her
Heather, what time is it supposed to be seen? Is that last night or tonight?
brother Cameron, we didn't see him, but again, we don't really know where he is.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's see here.
You still have a bunch of questions, Chris.
My gosh, you guys are awesome.
Good. Have y'all ruled out it's a woman dressed as a man? It's completely ruled out. It's the porch guy is a man.
I'm
Say that
100% it's a man.
not a woman. Okay, watched a streamer with guest that thinks the perp has a signal jammer in his pocket. If that's the case, would that change the timeline as to when Nancy's
They would have picked that up on their electronics on the Gladiator software system. They'd have picked it up.
pacemaker disconnected via Bluetooth from her iPhone?
I don't have the answer to that one personally.
Yeah, no, that's pretty deep. Pretty deep, I think. I don't know if that much goes into it, planning, but you never know.
Gabriella asks, what about the night pictures at Annie Guthrie's house? Any new insight?
No, other than I personally think it is not the same night just because of the backlit. But they don't have the timeline and they haven't told us what the metadata is going to tell us when those were taken yet.
Dana says, when I worked in dermatology, we had patients wear cotton gloves, underwater resistant gloves, to absorb sweat and reduce irritation. Perhaps that's what the perp is wearing.
That's kind of what Maureen was talking about earlier.
Skippy says, along the line of obsessive thinking, what if the perp's rationale was, if I can't have Savannah, neither can Nancy?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Sure. I don't think it's probable though.
Kiki Kuai says, to me, the person had no reason to even be on the front stoop. Seemed performative. Like, look, I'm here.
Like staged.
Yeah.
Is that what that? Yeah, I would.
That's what she's getting at.
It almost does look staged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
I said that too. It looks staged. Blood could be staged. Performative in the front. Staged to inflict pain on the Guthries. Regarding the other night, Nancy Grace highlights it on her YouTube episodes from last week. Nancy Grace with all of her panels that she abuses. Can you just give me that in English?
Jason says, regarding the other light, Nancy Grace highlights it on one of her YouTube episodes from last week.
Yeah, I saw that. I was on that. I think I was on that episode actually, and
Probably were.
I wasn't convinced.
Okay, what do you think is the probability that this was a professional job and the perp was paid to abduct Nancy?
I think that could absolutely.
Yeah.
That could absolutely be a scenario.
Yep.
Do you all think this person entered through sliding glass doors?
Not sure.
Yeah.
But there are 6 points of entry into that house.
Yeah,
Another question from Marine.
one of the
We
6.
kept her over 2.5 hours, so she had to go. But they're asking, what are your thoughts on the scene being staged? Do you think Nancy made it home? We're talking about whether staging is still on the table.
Yeah,
And it sounds like it is. I mean, we
great
don't know.
question.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Jeremy asks, have you come across a body being bagged and shot? Would you consider that in this case?
Repeat that again. Came across what?
Have you homicide detectives come across a body being bagged and shot? Shot and then bagged? Would you consider that in this case?
We've had tons of shot and then bagged.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like put in a bag and they're fighting inside the bag and shot now.
Jen says, this is for you, Dan. This is a different case. Do you think the Lane Bryant mass killing in Illinois can be solved with IgG DNA?
I honestly, so it's funny that question is asked because I handled my partner and I handled 5 people executed in one house, and it was the same year as the Lane Bryant murders, and that's I don't know if you guys know about the Lane Bryant murders. It's a suburb of Chicago. It was the Lane Bryant store, and I know my partner and I believe very strongly that one of our offenders in ours was solved. They're doing life multiple, 5 times life, 2 of the offenders. And we strongly believe that one of them is the killer on Lane Bryant. And when Lane Bryant, so we did call out, so we got total confessions from our guys. We called their task force, the Tinley Park task force. They came out. We said, you guys should come take a look at
What's up, Jim? You made it.
this guy. And egos were going on. Oh, you're going to show us the big city guys how to solve the murder. It's like, it's not. We have plenty of our own murders, but we want you to take a look at this guy. This is why we think could be your offender. And then once they tried to go talk to him, he lawyered up at that point. So they never got anything. And I'm going to leave it right there because there was other stuff that was discussed between the investigators and me, and I don't want to put that out there.
Good idea.
Yeah, I don't want to put what was discussed.
Okay.
So peel layers of an onion was the analogy of going back into the data to be able to find the video and the stills.
If blood was staged, where did the blood come from? Okay, so think of this, hypothetically, all made up here, but we're going to think out of the box. All you have to do is get a face cloth, dip it into the blood, get enough of it saturated. You can walk out onto the porch, squeeze it straight down. You're going to get 90 degree. That one little spot that looks like it's off base, you can drop it, pick it up. And you just be creative. There's probably 1,000 ways it could have happened. It could be staged. Dan, what say you?
I agree totally. Could definitely be staged.
Okay.
If Nancy was deceased, why would the perp bring the body with him? Seems like more work, DNA, easier to get caught.
This is why I reiterate about the need to grid search the area.
Mike says the perp wanted to be seen on camera. It's messaging.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that though. I think that personally, I think that the person thought that it wouldn't record because maybe had knowledge that there was no subscription. And I think that was just brilliant work by the FBI when they got those images.
Jessica.
And that person is probably like literally pooping in the pants, for lack of better words, after they seen that video.
Here's a scenario. TNA opened credit cards in NG's name, has bill sent to their house, took cash advances, got caught. Felonies NG has to eliminate before NG turns them in. No reward collected, but they can't. Elder fiduciary abuse is a crime. There's no question about it. That type of stuff happens. Let's pray that's not the case here.
Yeah.
Have they checked the nearby Indian reservation? Not easily accessible to the public. I believe they have. The FBI would have jurisdiction out there if they did. Saw on live today, the mail carrier ran over the flowers. Yes, thank you so much, Tina, for clearing that up. We are grateful.
Yeah.
Let's see. Karen is the best. You rock.
Thank you.
All right. Come to my end of my time limit. Oh! 1 hour and 2 hours almost exactly. I started at 7:30 and I'm going to end at 9:30. And I got 50 seconds left. Any questions from the peanut gallery? Yeah, I think I still think he's a match. Welcome you, Mama. thanks for being here, all you guys. Leave comments down in the comment section. Leave some comments and hype the video if it even is available now. I don't even know if you have to be monetized to be able to be hyped or not. Thanks, Yamama Yvonne. Appreciate that. So I got 5 seconds left. I'm going to get out of here so I can go to bed with Mrs. Mab. She goes to bed at 9:30, and it's 9:30. So peace out. Mab loves you, and we'll see you tomorrow.